and welcome to another VegInspired video. Today we want to share with you our favorite toppings. If you've been watching us for a while, you know we love tacos, fajitas, burritos, pretty much anything Mexican like that. Today we're going to share with you our quick pickled radishes, our pico de gallo that you can make any weeknight, a very simple guacamole base, and our chipotle crema. Thanks so much for watching. Now sit back and enjoy this video. For our first recipe, we're going to quick pickle some radishes. This is super simple. We're going to start by taking washed radishes and thinly slicing them. So once you have your thinly sliced radishes, just go ahead and put them in a shallow dish. Spread them out. So you're going to use as many radishes as you need for your toppings. If you have a large group of people that you're serving, obviously use more radishes. If you're just doing a few, they last, I would say, about 3 days in the refrigerator. The pickled radishes tend to get a little bit of a funky smell, so we don't like to keep them just hanging out in the fridge, so we make them as we need them. So next you're going to squeeze on some lime juice. Make sure your radishes are nice and coated with lime juice. I'm going to add a little more. Then we're going to add a little bit of kosher salt, just sprinkled over the top. And then give it a quick toss. Then we'll put the lid on them and store them in the fridge until we're ready to use them. Next up is our quick pico de gallo. When we go to Mexican restaurants, we always love their pico de gallo, so we had to make one at home. We absolutely love using grape tomatoes. We think they make the perfect texture and taste for the pico de gallo. So we'll start by cutting our grape tomatoes. Depending on the size, we like to do them in 8s. Put your chopped tomatoes in your dish. Pour on the counter. I like to make sure I get all the tomato juice. And then we'll cut our onion. We're using a white onion that's pretty traditional. The method of cutting the onion this way and then cutting it this way and then dicing it gives you a nice small dice, which is what we want. We're going to use our bench scraper to get all the onions in here. Now, the trick is to give these onions a little rinse, kind of to reduce their potency. So we'll do that real quick. Then we'll add the rinsed onions to our bowl. Okay, next up we're going to do a little bit of jalapeno. you like more tomato, add more tomato. If you want more jalapeno, you can definitely add that. If you've been watching for a while, you know that I'm not the spicy girl, so you saw no little seeds or ribs go in there. Just a little jalapeno for that kick. Now we're gonna take a good handful of our cilantro. We wash our cilantro and store it in a jar with one of our reusable produce bags over top in the fridge. That means that when you need it, you can just grab it and go. You don't have to wash it. It also makes it easier to cut because it's dry when you're cutting it because it's not freshly washed. So just chop it up, mince it. I love cilantro, so I'm probably usually add more. I know some people don't love cilantro, so you could do a different herb or you could just leave it out. And next we'll add in some of our lime juice that we squeezed using our citrus juicer. So I'm just gonna stir it up. Then we sprinkle in a little bit of salt just to give it a little bit of flavor and really bring out the flavors of the ingredients. Stir that in. We'll also cover this and set this aside until the rest of the ingredients are ready. Next up, we're going to make our chipotle crema. The chipotle crema is a variation of our cashew garlic aioli, which I'll link up there. We use that cashew base for a lot of ingredients, a lot of recipes, so make sure you head over there. For this one, it's going to be a chipotle crema. So let's get started. We're going to start with half a cup of raw cashews into our Vitamix. Next, we're going to add about half of a chipotle in adobo sauce. So again, I don't love the spiciness, so you can adjust this to taste. If you love spicy, you can add more. If you don't like spicy, just start with a little and add as you go. Next, we need lime juice. So we'll add about 2 teaspoons of freshly squeezed lime juice. 1, 2, and then we'll add a teaspoon of wine vinegar. Today we're using red. You could use white or rice. So for this recipe, you can make it 1/3 of a cup and make it a little bit thicker, or 1/2 a cup and it makes it thin. It really depends on your Vitamix or your blender. Again, if you don't have a Vitamix, go ahead and soak your raw cashews overnight, or at least 8 hours so that they soften so that your blender can handle that. I'm going to start with a little less. I'm going to start with about 1/3 of a cup, and if I look in there and it's way too thick for what we need it for, I'll just add a little more water and blend it. So it's really kind of your decision on how thick you want it. Then we'll turn on this Vitamix and let it blend. As always, you can find all of these recipes on VegInspired.com, which I will link in the description below. So you blend for about 30 to 40 seconds until you get that nice, creamy, rich sauce. Perfect. And then we'll put this in a container and store it in the fridge until we're ready to use it. up and get that guacamole whipped up. Next up, we're going to whip up our guacamole. We're going to start with 1 garlic clove and 1/2 teaspoon of cumin seed. We're using a molcajete. If you don't have it, go ahead and substitute minced garlic and ground cumin, and you can use a fork and a bowl. Next, we'll add 2 avocados. Nice. So we're going to add 2 avocados. And then we mash them. Then we'll add the last avocado, and we're not going to mash it as much as we did the others, so I just kind of chunk it a little. With my spoon. And then just soft mash to leave it still a little chunky. Next, we're going to add lime to taste. So we'll just cut a lime, give it a squirt. I'm going to try 1 full lime and then give it a taste. So for the lime, we did 1 lime to 3 avocados. You want it to be bright and acidic, but not too limey. So be sure you taste it before you put in too much lime juice. Next up, we're going to add some cilantro. Again, you can leave cilantro out if you're not team cilantro, but we're team cilantro. We're just going to grab a handful off of this and chop it up. Then we'll toss it in. Now we'll stir in that cilantro and lime juice, get everything all mixed together. Bright, acidic, and that cilantro just gives it a nice sweet pop of flavor. Next, we're going to salt it to taste with our kosher salt. This is going to really bring out the flavors and kind of get everything together. A liberal helping of salt really brings out the flavor of the avocados. And ties everything together. Now, this is a base version of a guacamole. To this, you could add jalapeno, you could add diced tomatoes, you could add diced onion, you could add pineapple or mango or black beans. You can really take this guacamole and turn it into whatever you want with the ingredients that you want. Since we're serving this as a topping to our tacos with the radishes, pico, and the crema, we left it pretty simple as a base. We hope you enjoyed this video. Keep watching to see how we layer up our tacos. So you see some tacos there getting loaded up with our pico, a couple of dollops of that guacamole base. Then we drizzled on some chipotle crema and added a few of the radishes. Everything is so delicious. Stay tuned for a bonus recipe coming up after this. For this bonus recipe, we boiled up some russet potatoes and then we sauteed some poblano peppers, caramelized up some onions, and we even warmed up some corn. It's frozen corn that we warmed up. And then we made these delicious potato bowls. We peeled the potatoes, topped them with the caramelized onions, and then added on some of the poblano peppers that had a really nice char to them. Next, we added our warmed frozen corn that had a nice char too. We love cooking in that cast iron skillet. I'll link that in the description below. And then we topped our bowls with those tasty toppings. Some pico de gallo, of course, a big old dollop of guacamole, and then a nice drizzle of our chipotle crema just to add that extra pop and zing to this potato bowl. And last up, a few of those pickled radishes to really amp it up. We love easy dinners like this, and we love these toppings because they are so versatile. You can use them on potato bowls like this or in tacos. We've also topped tofu scrambles. I mean, really, the options are endless. Thanks so much for watching this veg-inspired video of our toppings for tacos, burritos, burrito bowls, and taco bowls. These toppings are perfect, and you can whip them up on a weeknight for some tasty and delicious toppings. We hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If there's a recipe that you want to see us veganize, drop it in the comments below. Tap the subscribe and hit that little bell so you don't miss our next recipe video coming to you next week. We're super excited about that. And until next time, eat more plants, live veg-inspired, and have a great day. VegInspired's food channel is filmed in front of a sleepy studio audience.